Absolutely. We'll continue that topic in just a moment. Right now, though, focusing on the safety of our children, our toddlers at that. Now, when buying a new car, safety is a significant feature we consider before making a purchase. And you would think that once we have our dream car, that our child's safety in the vehicle would be of utmost importance too. However, according to some shocking statistics, only 7% of South African children are put in car seats, which results in thousands of unnecessary deaths every single year. And this is why Maxi-Cosi South Africa, South Africa's a leading manufacturer of some of the fast or the safest car seats globally, have decided to focus on the safety of the children in their parents' vehicles. Now, they've launched a campaign called Child Passenger Safety Week, and I'm joined this morning by Debbie Bilson from Maxi-Cosi and also Vanessa Haywood-Sands, a proud and brand ambassador, to give us some more information as well. Ladies, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I'm so glad we're talking about this because off the bat, I will just say a shout out to my wife, who was so adamant with car seats when my boys were very, very young, even if it meant just going around the block. So let's talk about this, Debbie. These stats are alarming. Absolutely. I mean, those thousands of unnecessary deaths, it shouldn't happen. It's not supposed to happen. But why does it happen? Is it just because us South African parents, we're just ignorant? What is causing it?
I think in South Africa, a lot of the parents don't take responsibility. And at the end of the day, it's purely the responsibility of the parent to ensure that your child is put into a child restraint system within a vehicle. And it's not necessarily about cost. I honestly believe that South Africa has a wide range of car seats on the market. Every South African that can afford to buy a car should be able to afford to buy a car seat. It's actually less than 1% of the cost of your vehicle.
Exactly.
We've actually worked it out to the even beyond that, that when you're actually buying a car seat per day, a car seat can cost you R2 a day for your child's safety. So parents that believe or say to us, my child doesn't like sitting in a car seat, they don't like facing rearward, if they don't know any better, how would they know that they don't enjoy sitting in a car seat or facing rearward facing?
And you have to facilitate that from the beginning to make sure that they are comfortable. Vanessa, now some parents might turn around and say, yeah, but my child, you know, is fairly big enough, he sits on the seat, he's secured with a seatbelt. It's not the same thing, is it?
Not at all. A seatbelt in a vehicle is designed for an adult. Exactly where it goes across the chest and across the hips. And in a child, obviously with it being much shorter and more petite, that seatbelt's going to cause major injuries if there's a car accident. So yeah, it's just the seatbelt is simply not designed for small kids. In an ideal world, children under the height of 150 centimeters should be in a child car seat or in a booster seat. And it's law in South Africa that all children under the age of 3 have to be in a car seat. It was made law in 2015. But unfortunately, as Debbie was saying, parents simply do not abide by the law, and unfortunately, the police don't enforce it either.
That's what I'm saying.
Really
it's not being enforced, and that is where the critical point comes in. Because I mean, if I just take a look at my youngster who's now 3, if you put him in a normal car seat, I mean, the seatbelt comes across his face, and it's not across his chest, or then he puts it under his arm, you know, which is not the ideal way to go about it at all. Now, Debbie, from what age up until what age? I know the 150 centimeter, that's who said, but age-wise, what should we be looking at?
Age-wise, you would be looking at a child at about 12 years old. So basically, cars are manufactured, and the safety of a car is manufactured around us as adults, anyone over 1.5 centimeters. So that's why we say it's our responsibility to put a child within the restraint system that's under 1.5 meters in a car seat. Your seatbelt, which Vanessa says, if you're under 1.5, that is a hazard where for us that's a safety item in the event of a car accident, but that can break a child's neck. And then what most children do is pull their arms through. And then you're also not at the correct height.
No, so you will flip out,
Absolutely. So it's also by the development of your structure. So as a young child, your hips are not developed enough as us as an adult. If you're anywhere shorter, that emphasis is then all abdominal because you're not tall enough. And that causes the internal injuries, which unfortunately is not visible at the scene of an accident, which is sometimes fatal.
I mean, it doesn't also have to be incredibly forceful car crash at that to cause those injuries as well. Just quickly on the child seat, what should we be looking at in terms of safety, in terms of the actual seat when going out buying it? Because here we have an example of one.
Yes. So that's our Maxi-Cosi two-way pull. So basically what I would say is when you're actually going to go and buy, do your research on car seats. South Africa follows the European standard of car seats. There are only 3 standards in the world: the North American standard, the European standard, and the Australian standard. So all car seats that are on the floor of any one of our retailers should have a bright orange sticker on the bottom, which has your EU standard on it. Currently, we have 2 different standards on the market, which is quite difficult for the consumer. We have the R404 standard. So that standard was basically brought in before ISOFIX.
Yeah.
A lot of the new vehicles now have ISOFIX connectors. So all those car seats, the majority of those car seats are still with your seatbelt installation.
Right.
However, with the new vehicles, a lot of them are coming out with ISOFIX. So some parents are wanting ISOFIX because their new cars have ISOFIX. ISOFIX is not necessarily safer than non-ISOFIX, but it's the less risk of incorrect installation.
All right.
And statistics shows that 77% of car seats that are installed in vehicles are incorrectly installed.
Wow.
And that could just, so no matter what testing the seat has gone under, but if you don't install that car seat properly, it might not protect your child's life in the event of an accident.
Vanessa, thank you very, very much. Vanessa, also thank you for jumping on board as a brand ambassador and being a spokesperson
it's
for
only
this.
A pleasure.
It's such a worthy cause. So go out there, South Africa, make sure that your children are safe in the cars. If you want to learn more about Child Passenger Safety Week, you can visit Facebook or Instagram. You can find it under Child Passenger Safety Week.